So, the experience I'm going to share with you is my favorite. I'm squinting my eyes right now because I'm thinking of a different way to word this. I would say my favorite girlfriend, favorite. And I'd say that because she's now my ex. Not that I really am like the stalker type, but I really valued the relationship I had with her. I really valued it. And even the way we met was pretty romantic, and I think throughout this entire channel I'm going to be mentioning a lot of things about her because it's going to be mostly relationships is going to be the focus, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so. This is the first video, so who knows. So yeah, the way we met was, now that I think back to it, because I don't know about you, but I never really thought about the way we met until just a couple days ago, and I'm like, what, the way we met and the way our relationship worked out, it was pretty intense. It was like one of those movie kind of things, the way I think about it in certain ways. Because what happened was, whoops, this is a camera right here. I was working in a security company. You can search that up, who cares? It's local. I don't live there anymore. I was working at a security company, and as a security, it's boring. It's really boring work. The first thing they moved me from a movie theater over to this apartment building. Oh my god, I hated that apartment building. It was so boring, and it was under construction. And one of the jobs we had to do was we had to sit in the elevator in this like uncomfortable chair. And the reason we have to sit in the elevator is so when people take the elevator, they don't bring it up to a floor that's fully unconstructed and has the stairs aren't properly built to get up there, because if so, then the elevator's stuck up there, and sometimes it malfunctions and whatever, and just blah blah blah. End of the line, you gotta stay in an elevator for 8 hours sitting down on your ass with no phone connection because it's a fucking elevator. Yeah. I have to remember that my eye movements aren't even being recorded because these shades are awesome. But yeah, so eventually I noticed, I think around the end of my first day, I began scrawling on the walls because since the whole place was under construction, they were worried about the construction guys damaging the elevator. So they built kind of like a wooden cast inside the elevator, so to protect the elevator. But all the other people who were working there before me, they obviously resorted to scrawling, because you sit in an elevator for 8 hours with like 2 breaks within the day, 2 15-minute breaks. It's ridiculous. It starts to do something to your sanity. If any of you guys have ever played any video games, a certain horror video game called Dead Space, and it's like that with the scrawling on the walls, except it's not some creepy shit. It's just a lot of dick pics and boobs and just, these guys, whatever, man, fuck it. Now me, I as a hobby, I like to draw, so I'm a little more finesse than these other guys. So I started drawing females, full body females. I started drawing it, and eventually it started getting to a point where the next day I'd come and my drawings would be scribbled out in pen, or it'd be painted over, right? Because apparently my drawings were too NSFW or something, whatever. All I did was draw a full body female. I put clothes on it and done. And then what would happen is the guy on the next shift would edit it and then it became NSFW. So after it got to a point where it became a witch hunt to figure out who the hell is leaving these drawings, right? I mean, fuck the other drawings. Just because my drawings are good, it becomes subject matter all of a sudden, right? So all of a sudden I forgot how the dude figured out it was me. I can't remember how he figured out, but he figured out it was me, and he threatened to, hey, you better stop or blah blah blah, you can get fired. But it wasn't even a supervisor. That's the funny part. I thought he was a supervisor, in a couple days I figure out he's just some low-level guy like me. Like, who you seriously, dude? Seriously? So I think a couple months went by and they started changing the elevator shifts. They started getting a little bit shorter, a little bit less intense. They'd have more switch outs. They started doing hour switch around patrols so people wouldn't have to stay in the elevator as long. And one day I noticed this drawing that was just, it was so good. It was such a great drawing. It was a drawing of a woman, of an African woman, and it was drawn and it was shaded and it was all in pen and it was just like carved into the wood and it was amazing. And I remember thinking, holy crap, who drew that? That was amazing. That was really amazing. And I always wanted to find out who drew this. And so I would do this little thing where I'd write at the bottom like a little Facebook messenger chat, and I'd be like, hey, what's up, like blah blah, who's that supposed to be? And then I would hope for the person to reply to me and write on it, but the person never replied. So after I think about 2 weeks, I gave up trying to find out and figure out who's drawing all these things. And the reason I couldn't figure it out is because I worked only on the weekends at the time. The person who was drawing it worked on the weekdays. One Friday, I'm available. I don't have any school that day, so I go to work. And I see this girl, a black girl, right? And she had this huge toque on, right? And I was like, that sounded funny. She's a skinny black girl, I think she was a little bit shorter than me, right? And along the shift, we meet up. There's a garage patrol area. There's a guy who walks around, and then there's one area where two people are beside each other, very close. Like there's one person in an elevator and a front door, and those people they can stay beside each other and chat pretty much. So I meet up with this girl, and I finally have a patrol with her. It was for 5 minutes actually. I sat down with her for 5 minutes. And when I went inside, she had the toque off, and she had a massive fro. Oh my god. She was beautiful. And yes, that is my favorite girlfriend I'm referring to. She was absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't really get to say anything to her because I was kind of just writing my notes at first. And before I could get ready to say, the guy came and he said, oh, you ready to switch? And she's like, yeah. She left. Yeah. So after that, I started realizing, holy shit, that girl is fucking beautiful. And, at the time, I was still nervous. I have a thing where I can't really talk to women, I guess. I don't know, I can't talk to women properly. I just get nervous. And a lot of things that happened in my past just make me very cautious around women. So that was really the extent of the relationship that happened there. Now, it was only until I finished school and started working full-time, or 5 days a week, 4 days a week, pretty close to full-time, close enough, at the place. And then I'd start to see her on the weekdays. And one day it became this game where I was trying to force myself to try and get the elevator and front door shift with her, but it took 3 weeks to figure it out, to shift up the shifts right where I start at a certain shifts, and I know at one point in time that I'm gonna be with her for an entire hour. And 3 weeks later, I finally got down the moment, and I got the confidence to talk to her, and we had a great conversation. And I'm not really gonna say anything. I don't want to really link her in any way to my videos here now. But I had a great conversation with her. She was a great girl. We had a lot of similar interests, and then it got to this point where she started combing her hair in the middle of the conversation. She had this brush, and she was brushing her hair out. And anyone who has an afro knows, your hair gets nappy after a while, after it dries out. Especially this is winter, and your hair gets dry, and it just gets a lot tougher to deal with. So she was combing her hair, and it was like, and she was combing it right under the light, and it was like one of those movie sequences where it's like, holy fuck, this chick is the one. That's what I said to myself anyways. She was just that was a moment for me. It kind of like gave me the confidence to try and ask her out. It took me about 4 weeks for us to actually start officially dating, because I slowly worked myself into it. I didn't just ask her because, again, me myself, I'm just very insecure around women. But anyways, we got to talking, and on that same day in the shift, and we somehow the topic of drawing as a hobby came up, and she's like, oh yeah, I do a little drawing on the side as well. And I said, huh, you wouldn't happen to be the one who drew the African woman in the elevator, would you? And she said, yeah, that was me. And she's like, who told you? And I said, I've been looking for you since I started this job, because I've been looking for you, literally you. And that was like the thing that just stacked up on it. I got a beautiful woman. She got fro, which I love women with fros. Oh my god. And she draws. She's an artist, actually. She does a lot of painting. Those are the things that just kind of like gave me the confidence to pursue her. And so really, that's how it happened. I mean, I in my opinion, I think that's a pretty magical kind of thing, though. Kind of magical way to meet somebody, you know, other than the traditional, hey, this is Lucy, you know, I think you guys would be good for each other, or online dating. I mean, this was, in my opinion, is like one of those fate kind of things, you know. Anyways, along those 4 weeks, I progressively, you know, got her Facebook, you know, messaged her, you know, became friends, and then slowly I started trying to ask her out. Like, you know, I said, hey, you know, when you got free time there, blah blah blah, you got free time here, blah blah blah, and she'd be like, oh no, actually I'm doing so and so, but I'll be available next week. Date. We met in front of her place, and we went to this bubble tea place, really nice bubble tea place, and we sat there and talked for almost 5 hours, I believe. I think it was 3 to 5 hours or something. We talked. And you know, I don't know about you, but if you're one of those people like me who's nervous around females, those are one of the most intense, excruciating 3 to 5 hours for me. Because in my mind, in my heart, I don't know if I'm being boring or not. I don't know if I'm like, you know, you just don't know. I don't know if I'm doing good right now. Like, is she liking this? Is she enjoying the conversation with me? Is she enjoying anything I'm doing right now? Like, I was kind of a nervous wreck, and I think you could show on my face, and I think she probably thought it was cute. But, you know, at the end of the day, she said, yeah, I enjoyed that, let's do it again. And we did. It was nice. It was nice. It was a nice moment. She's definitely a girlfriend that the times I had with her, I will definitely always remember her. She's a person that even to this day, I still talk to her. I still talk to this person. Because, you know, she's the kind of person I'd want to remain friends with. Because deep down, she changed me as a person. She was literally that much of an influence on me as a person.